Imagine waking up each morning feeling grounded, centered, and poised, regardless of what the day may hold. Envision yourself moving through life's ups and downs with grace and resilience, your inner calm undisturbed by outer chaos. This isn't just a distant dream. It's a way of living that has been pursued and practiced for centuries, rooted in the ancient wisdom of stoicism. Today, we delve into a topic that's not just about understanding Stoic philosophy, but about recognizing and transforming behaviors that stand in our way. Stoicism teaches us how to live virtuously and find joy in accepting what we cannot change while diligently working on what we can. It's about recognizing our power to cultivate inner strength, wisdom, and tranquility, regardless of external circumstances. Stoic principles guide us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, to value simplicity over complexity, and to seek fulfillment in the elevation of our character. However, in our journey through modern life, we often find ourselves veering away from these principles, entangled in habits and mindsets that lead us astray. These anti-Stoic behaviors act as barriers to our personal and philosophical growth. They prevent us from experiencing the full richness of life and from embodying the Stoic virtues of courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. And before we dive deep into the transformative wisdom of Stoicism, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, not just as a viewer, but as an active participant in this journey of self-improvement. Remember, you're different from the majority. You've chosen to embrace this path, making you an exception. So don't skip any part of the video. Each segment is a crucial step toward understanding and integrating Stoic practices into your life, helping you stand out in a world of conformity. Number 1. Excessive materialism. In a world where we're bombarded by ads telling us to buy more and more, it's easy to think that happiness comes from what we own. But there's a different way of thinking called Stoicism. It says real happiness comes from within, not from what we have. Stoics believe that instead of chasing after stuff, we should focus on who we are on the inside, our values, our actions, our goodness. When we do this, we find a deeper, longer-lasting joy. So how can we use this idea in our daily lives? Well, it's about changing what we care about. Instead of always wanting new things, we should focus on experiences and personal growth. Think about the moments that really made you happy. They're probably not about buying stuff, but about spending time with people you care about or doing things that make you feel alive. Let's challenge ourselves to value simplicity and being real over showing off. When we do this, we break free from always wanting more, and we find true happiness in living by Stoic ideas. Remember, it's not about what we own. It's about the wisdom we gain, the love we give, and the peace we find inside ourselves that truly matters in the end. Number 2. Seeking external validation. In today's world, it's easy to think that the number of likes, shares, and followers we get online reflects our worth as people. But here's the thing to think about. When we base our self-esteem on what others think of us, it's like building a house on sand. It's not very stable. Stoicism, this ancient philosophy, offers us a different approach. Stoicism teaches us that relying on others to feel good about ourselves is risky. Instead, it suggests looking inside for approval and value. It's about building qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, which make up our true character and can't be taken away by outside opinions. Think about it. How often do we change our opinions or act differently just to fit in or make others happy? It's like wearing a mask that hides who we really are. But wearing that mask for too long can suffocate us. Stoicism tells us to take off that mask and be ourselves. It's about finding validation from within. This doesn't mean ignoring other people or their feedback completely. We're social creatures after all. But it's about being able to tell the difference between helpful feedback and empty praise or criticism. It's about being confident in who we are and our journey of self-improvement, no matter what others say. So next time you find yourself seeking approval or feeling swayed by someone else's opinion, Take a moment. Ask yourself, am I doing this to grow, or am I just trying to fill a void of self-doubt? Remember, your worth isn't based on what others think of you. It's about the values you hold, the actions you take, and the integrity you show. You're in charge of your own value, and it's what's inside that truly defines you. Number 3, rumination. Have you ever found yourself stuck replaying a conversation or worrying endlessly about something that hasn't happened yet? That's called rumination. It's like having a broken record in your mind, playing the same regrets, worries, and fears over and over again. But here's the thing. While we're busy dwelling on the past or fretting about the future, the present, the only moment we truly have, is passing us by. Stoicism, with its practical wisdom, offers us a way out of this cycle. The Stoics weren't just thinkers. They were realists who understood the importance of living in the moment. They taught us that even though we can't change what's already happened or predict what's to come, we can influence the present. So, how do we break free from rumination? It's about practicing mindfulness and gratitude. When you catch yourself getting lost in thoughts about the past or future, take a moment to breathe deeply. Look around you and notice the colors, sounds, and textures of your surroundings. This simple act of awareness can bring you back to the present, grounding you in reality. And then there's gratitude. In the midst of worrying, it's easy to overlook the good things we have right now, like the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a home, or the presence of loved ones. By consciously acknowledging these blessings, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, from fear to appreciation. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our thoughts about them. By focusing on the present and cultivating gratitude, we're not just breaking free from rumination, we're also living in alignment with Stoic ideals, embracing life as it unfolds moment by moment. Remember, every time you bring yourself back to the present, you're strengthening a mental muscle. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to let go of rumination and live fully in the present, learning from the past, preparing for the future, but living in the now. That's the essence of Stoic wisdom. Number 4, don't fear change. The Stoics knew that change is a normal and necessary part of life. They saw it as nature's way of moving forward, offering chances for us to grow and learn. Instead of being scared of change, they believed we should welcome it. It helps us become stronger and more in tune with life's rhythm. Imagine if we thought of change not as something scary, but as an opportunity, a chance to explore, learn, and become better. When we see change this way, the fear starts to fade away. We begin to see possibilities where we used to see problems. We feel excited about new experiences and the chance to improve ourselves. But how do we do this? How do we learn to embrace change? It starts with changing our mindset. We need to let go of trying to control everything and accept that the only thing we truly control is how we react in the present moment. Then we can work on being flexible and adaptable, being open to new ideas and willing to leave behind old ones, even if it's uncomfortable at first. And every change, whether it seems good or bad at first, brings lessons and opportunities. By focusing on what we can learn and how we can grow, we change our view of change from something to fear to something to be curious about and grateful for. So, let's not be afraid of change. Let's welcome it as the Stoics did. As a necessary and enriching part of life, let's step out of our comfort zones, explore new things, and find joy in the journey of becoming our best selves. After all, it's through change that we discover our true strength and create a life that reflects our deepest values and dreams. Embracing change leads us to inner peace. Number 5, stop worrying about trivial things. It's easy to get wrapped up in small stuff, losing sight of what's really important. The Stoics remind us that not everything deserves our attention. They teach us to tell the difference between what we can change and what we need to accept. This is important because it helps us focus on what truly matters, freeing us from wasting energy on things we can't control. Just imagine how much lighter your life would feel without all those little worries weighing you down. Picture yourself going through your day without being bothered by insignificant concerns. This isn't just a dream, it's something Stoicism invites us to make a reality. So, how do we start letting go of these trivial worries? It begins with being aware of when we're getting caught up in them. Ask yourself if whatever you're worrying about will still matter in a week, a month, or a year. If not, give yourself permission to let it go. Instead, focus on things you can control and that deserve your attention. Stoicism also encourages us to see the bigger picture of life. When we zoom out and realize the temporary nature of our experiences, many worries start to seem less important. This can bring a sense of calm even when life gets unpredictable. But Stoicism isn't just about letting go of trivial worries. It also guides us towards living more meaningful lives. By conserving our mental energy, we can put it into things that truly enrich us and those around us. This means deepening relationships, developing our talents, giving back to our communities, and leaving behind a legacy that reflects our values.
Number 6, never seek revenge. When someone hurts us, it's natural to want to get back at them. But let's take a moment to think. Does seeking revenge really help us? Or does it just make things worse? The Stoics teach us that seeking revenge only leads to more pain and anger. It pulls us away from thinking clearly and makes us act out of emotion. When we seek revenge, we're letting someone else's actions control how we feel. Instead, Stoicism suggests forgiveness and understanding. This doesn't mean we ignore what happened or pretend it didn't hurt. It means realizing that holding on to anger only hurts us more. But how do we forgive someone who hurt us? It starts with acknowledging our feelings without judging ourselves. Stoicism doesn't say we should hide our emotions, but rather understand them and why they affect us. Then we can try to see things from the other person's perspective. This can be hard, especially when we're hurting, but it helps us realize that the person who hurt us might be struggling too, even if it doesn't excuse their actions. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. We can't control what others do, but we can control how we react. By choosing forgiveness, we take back our power. We decide not to let someone else's actions define us or make us bitter. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. It means making a choice to let go of resentment and find peace. It's about aligning ourselves with Stoic virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice. It's about choosing to be better, even when it's hard.
Number 7, stop wasting your time. Stoicism tells us to live with purpose, making choices that match our deepest values and help us grow. While we can't control how long we live, we can control how meaningful our lives are. Stoics ask us to think, are we just passing time or are we truly living? Think about your typical day. How much of it is spent on things that really matter to you? How much is wasted on stuff you won't even remember later? It's easy to get sucked into scrolling through social media or watching endless TV. But imagine if you used that time for things that actually make you feel alive. Try keeping track of how you spend your time for a week. Be honest about every hour. Then look back and see what patterns emerge. How much time are you spending on things that make you happy or help you grow versus things that don't matter much? Once you see where your time goes, you can start making intentional choices. Maybe you'll spend more time learning something new, connecting with loved ones, or being creative. Or maybe you'll volunteer or spend more time in nature. The specifics will vary, but the goal is the same: to live a life that reflects your values and makes the most of your time. Stoicism reminds us that every moment is a chance to live well. It's up to us to use our time wisely to build the kind of life we want. So, as you go about your days, ask yourself, am I using my time in ways that make me happy and help me grow? By doing this, you'll not only honor Stoic principles, but also create a life that's truly fulfilling and meaningful. Number 8, stop looking for problems. Sometimes we spend too much time worrying about what might go wrong or focusing on issues that might never happen. This can make life seem gloomy. hiding the good things around us. But what if we changed our mindset? Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, responses, and judgments. Instead of getting stuck on problems, it encourages us to look for solutions. This helps us stay strong and calm when life throws challenges our way. So, how do we start thinking this way? It begins with noticing when we're focusing on problems and consciously shifting our focus to finding solutions. Even small steps can make a big difference over time. Stoicism also tells us to see challenges as opportunities to grow. Instead of seeing problems as impossible obstacles, we can learn from them. This change in perspective can turn stressful situations into valuable learning experiences. Being a problem solver also means being flexible and open to change. Sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zones or consider new ideas to find solutions. By staying adaptable, we can navigate life's ups and downs more easily. But perhaps the most important thing Stoicism teaches us is inner peace. When we stop worrying about what might go wrong and focus on what we can do right, we feel calmer and more focused. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means facing them with a positive attitude, focusing on action and solutions instead of worry. Stoicism isn't just a way to deal with problems. It's a way to live a happier, more fulfilling life. By shifting our focus from problems to solutions, we can appreciate the good things in life, be more engaged, and feel more fulfilled. Number 9, impulsivity. Stoicism teaches us the importance of thinking before acting and having self-control. These virtues are especially valuable in today's world, where everything moves so fast, and we often want instant gratification. Stoics remind us that real freedom isn't about doing whatever we want whenever we want. It's about being in control of our impulses, so our actions reflect our deepest values and goals. But how do we control impulsivity in our own lives? It starts with being aware of those moments when we feel impulsive. This could be as simple as taking a deep breath before buying something, or pausing to think before reacting in a heated argument. Patience is also key. In a world that values speed and quick results, patience is like a quiet rebellion. It means waiting for the right time to act, making sure our actions align with our long-term goals. It lets us see the bigger picture and choose what's best for us in the long run. Mindfulness is important too. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. By being mindful, we can create a space between our impulses and our actions. This gives us the clarity to choose responses that are constructive and in line with our values. And what about when we make mistakes? It's okay, we're only human, and impulsivity is part of our nature. Stoicism doesn't expect us to be perfect. It's about making progress. When we act impulsively, we can learn from the experience and use that knowledge to do better next time. This reflective practice helps us strengthen our self-control and gradually change our habits. Embracing these Stoic virtues doesn't just benefit us individually. It also has a positive impact on our relationships, work, and communities. When we act with thoughtfulness and self-control, we build trust, deepen connections, and contribute to a more considerate world. Number 10. Stop complaining. It's common to express dissatisfaction, but constant complaining drains our energy and spreads negativity. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control everything that happens, we can control how we react. Complaining about things we can't change is like trying to teach a cat to sing. It's frustrating and pointless. So, how do we stop complaining? First, we need to be aware of when we're doing it. Once we notice, we can shift our focus from what's wrong to what's right. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing where to put our attention and energy. Gratitude is a powerful tool here. By consciously focusing on the good things in our lives, we cultivate appreciation that overshadows our urge to complain. Gratitude not only changes our outlook, but also positively impacts our mood and well-being. Stoicism also encourages action. Instead of just complaining about a situation, we're asked to think, what can I do about this? Even small actions can empower us and move us away from feeling like victims. In essence, Stoicism helps us move from being passive complainers to active participants in our lives. By accepting what we can't change, focusing on the positive and taking action where possible, we transform how we respond to life's challenges. So, next time you feel the urge to complain, pause and remember the Stoic approach. Think about what you can appreciate in the moment, what you can change, and how you can shift your focus to the positive. By doing this, you not only improve your own well-being but also create a more positive environment for everyone around you. And that's the wisdom of Stoicism, guiding us toward a life of contentment and purpose. Remember, it's not what happens to us that defines us, but how we react. So let's continue to grow in wisdom and virtue together. Thank you for joining me on this Stoic journey, and I encourage you to explore more about Stoicism in the suggested videos. Let's keep learning and growing together.